It is allergy season in Kansas City. Hello, Glamour Ghouls, and welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Midge Munster, and on this channel, we do all things campy, kooky, glamorous, and spooky. So if you're following me on Instagram, I posted yesterday and basically just said, I have been in a real funk lately about being on camera. I don't know why. It's been like very challenging for me to see myself on camera and like get in the headspace to film. And so I thought the best way to kind of break myself out of that is just to do it and to film something kind of easy that I can just do and get out of that rhythm of not being on camera. So in pursuit of that today, we are doing a little Q&A. I posted a call for questions over on Instagram and y'all showed up and turned out. So I'm gonna just go through and get to as many as I can. We are in the season where I've gained quite a few new people in the last few weeks, so hopefully this will be an opportunity for those of you who are new here to get to know me, and for those of you who have been around here a long time to get to know me a little better. Normally I try to kind of organize these into categories, but I'm just going to go down the list in the order that these were submitted. So the first question is, do you read a lot? I wouldn't say I read a lot. I definitely read more now than I ever used to. I used to not be a reader at all. I read a lot as a kid. And then like I think happens to a lot of people, especially a lot of neurodivergent people, school kind of killed reading for me and I didn't really enjoy it for a long time. I think it's been about 3 years now that I've gotten back into reading. Honestly, I owe a lot of that to like BookTube and Book Talk, because I've found a lot of great people who recommend great books. I'm definitely the kind of person where if a book doesn't grab my attention pretty quickly, I'm not going to finish it. And so finding people who give really good recommendations for books that I know I'm going to most likely enjoy has been very, very helpful. But I've really been enjoying reading for fun again. It's been really nice. Actually, right now my TBR is getting pretty big, and so right now actually I've been working on setting aside 30 minutes a day to just read whatever I'm reading currently to make sure I'm working through that pile. Right now I'm reading another Grady Hendrix book. I'm reading How to Sell a Haunted House. I'm really enjoying this. This is so far my favorite Grady Hendrix book. I've read most of his, but this one's been really interesting so far. I really like anything, books, movies, anything like that analyzes grief through horror. I think that's really fascinating. And it seems to be free of the criticisms that I've had of Grady Hendrix in the past. So I don't know. I'm excited to see where it's going. I will say I'm like halfway through it and I still don't know where it's going. Not in a bad way, but it's just very like suspenseful and weird. I'm going to grab the rest of my TBR just because we're on books now. So immediately up next on my reading list, I have The London Seance Society by Sarah Penner. I've been really excited about this one and I can't wait to start it. I showed this at the end of my Salem vlog, but I also got Monster, She Wrote, which I've been very, very interested in for quite a while. It's the story of like the women who pioneered science fiction and horror, and they talk a lot about Mary Shelley in it, who I'm very interested in, so I'm excited to read that. And then one of my like nerdier interests is I'm very, very into the podcast Welcome to Night Vale. I've been to like 5 live shows in the last 10 years. I absolutely love the show. And I just found out that the writer of that, Joseph Fink, wrote a Halloween book. I didn't know that. It's called The Halloween Moon, and the title just sucked me in immediately. I think it's more of a YA novel, but I don't care. I know because of how Joseph Fink writes Night Vale that it's going to have great like spooky vibes, so I'm really excited about that as well. So after I finish Grady Hendrix, this is my immediate TBR. Per usual, I spent way too long on one question. Okay, next question is, who is your favorite spooky influencer? I mean, how do I even begin to answer that question? Obviously, it's no secret. I'm a huge fan of Christine McConnell. Getting to meet her was one of the highlights of my existence. And now being in a place where she like knows who I am and we like chat occasionally is wild. And I'm just like I'm in awe of my life sometimes. So I mean, I feel like she's kind of the pinnacle because for me, like I what she does is so aspirational to me, and she meets that place for me with like being spooky and vintage that is so close to my heart. So I would say she's the person I probably most like look up to in the community. But it's so hard to say like who my favorite spooky influencer is, because a lot of them are my friends. Most of them are my friends. And so, you know, I'm such a fan of all of them because they're my people and I love them. And I love them not just as influencers, but as human beings. So I feel like I can't give that title to anyone I know because I love them all so much. Any more fun travel plans coming up? Loved seeing your adventures. Thank you. Yes. So in July, I'm going back to Midsummer Scream in Long Beach. So excited for that. So excited to be back with all my spooky family and just have that time together. Midsummer Scream is so magical because it's one of the only conventions that is so Halloween centric, not just horror centric. There's definitely stuff for horror lovers, but it has that Halloween feel. It's so centric on Halloween, and so it just, the serotonin that it produces is out of this world. So I'm so excited to go back. I love shopping the vendor floor and like seeing all the artists. I'll definitely vlog Midsummer Scream again because honestly, making that video last year, if you haven't seen my Midsummer Scream vlog from last year, go check it out. But making that vlog last year was like one of my highlights of last year. And now I get to go back all the time and watch it and relive my first Midsummer Scream. It was amazing. So I'm doing that at the end of July, and I'm hoping that it works out that I might be going to Sleepy Hollow this fall. If I do, I'll like have a full come apart. I'm trying to work it out with one of my friends who lives nearby and see if her and I can go together. I don't know. We'll see, but that's kind of the big plans for this year. Besides, like obviously Salem was one of my big ones that I had planned since last year. What theme are you looking to decorate for the rooms in your house this year? So I know for a fact that I think I'm going to bring back the witch dining room this year and really elevate it. I have a lot of ideas about how to, y'all know, like my big joy is making an immersive, almost theatrical set-like space. And so I have some really cool ideas about how to make almost more of like a witch's hut. Like, I know that's kind of what it was last time, but my idea is that my yard is going to be a Sleepy Hollow walkthrough display. And then the goal would be you walk through that, and then my dining room is like right inside my door, so trick-or-treaters can see into my dining room. And so my hope would be to make the dining room kind of feel like the witch's cave that they go into in the Tim Burton Sleepy Hollow, and have kind of that, really overgrown, stony, like mossy vibe in there. So that's hopefully gonna happen. I always feel like nervous to announce these ambitious plans in case I don't achieve it, but I'm really hopeful. I'm gonna start decorating pretty early this year because I really want to try to really amp up what I've done. I think living room, we're gonna go back to a more traditional, just vintage Halloween, kind of a 30s and 40s folk art, jack-o'-lantern type Halloween, and really, really play with that. But I don't know, I think things will continue to unfold as we start to see what's in stores and what's happening. I'm not opposed to building and changing on the ideas in my head moving forward. Okay, so the next one is, what is your next tattoo idea? Oh, that we had time to go through all of my tattoo ideas. I did recently find an artist that I'm very excited about that has done several pieces on one of my friends, and she can literally do any style. Her work is so clean. So I did email her about getting my next piece on the books. I mean, I have a list a mile long of all the tattoos that I would like to have. I just got my new little ghosty boy in Salem, but I think I want to fill this space. I really want to get like a Beetlejuice Cupid doll with a sandworm. I've been saving this space up here for some kind of headless horseman piece. I think I'd really like to get like a Victorian hand holding like a planchette. Yeah, I have a lot of ideas. I don't know. I love tattoos, so who knows? Who knows where we're headed next? Ooh, this is a fun question. What movie scene would you like to recreate with anyone? Ooh, wow. The dinner scene in Beetlejuice, I think. The Deo banana boat scene, with me as Delia, of course. I think recreating that with a bunch of my friends like Miranda and Devin and Andrew and James and Bianca and everybody would be really, really fun. Get all the Halloween crew together and do that. That would be a hoot and a half. I would really enjoy that. Though, if we're talking not spooky, my absolute dream is to recreate the Barbra Streisand Hello Dolly scene when she enters the restaurant down those stairs in that gold dress with all the feathers coming out of her head and sings Hello Dolly. Dream. Honestly, just even like to play Dolly Levi in a stage production. Dream. Hello Dolly is my absolute favorite musical. I'm a Barbra Streisand fiend. That movie, I saw it when I was very young and it changed me for life. I watched it every night to fall asleep for like 2 years. What antique or vintage pieces are you still hunting for? Like holy grail type find. Ooh. Oh, that's really challenging. There's so many things. If we're talking spooky stuff, probably like the monster soakies, like the little bottles of bubble bath, the vintage Monster. I know that Super 7, is that what they're called, has like remade them, but I would love to find the originals. There's this Anchor Hawking chip and dip that I've been wanting for years, and I don't know why I'm so obsessed with it, but it's like this blue and orange. I'll find a picture and put it here if I can. It's like a blue and orange glass, kind of atomic looking chip and dip. And I found them once or twice and they've been in really bad shape or they're always missing the dip bowl. But I love that chip and dip so much. I kind of got one of my big white whales this year because I finally got a set of Cinderella bowls in the gooseberry pink Pyrex. That was something I wanted really bad. And I have it now, so I'm really happy. Except it is missing one of the bowls. It's missing the 403, I think. And then honestly, just any like Collegeville or Ben Cooper masks and costumes that are in like pristine condition in the original packaging. Anytime I can find something like that, I love it and I want it really bad. I mean, we're lucky that a lot of places make reproductions like Retro A Go-Go, and Spirit Halloween has had some vintage inspired masks in the last several years. But yeah, finding them in those like beautiful original boxes, the packaging was so cool. Finding a really nice, set of those I could display and frame like in shadow boxes would be really cool. And like always, any vintage blow molds, original Munsters merchandise from the 60s, stuff like that. Anytime. If anybody ever finds stuff and you're not interested in it, please send it my way or let me know. I will pay shipping, I will pay for it, whatever. Just, we don't get a lot of that kind of stuff here in the Midwest. So if you ever come across it and it's not for you, shoot me a message on Instagram and see if it's something I want. Because, man, something I've been really purposeful about this year in particular is building my vintage collection again. That was something I was so passionate about when I was younger, and I've really reevaluated my relationship to consumerism in the last year, of like new items, and I'm working really hard on, I'd rather spend a larger sum of money on one piece that's like stood the test of time, that's something I really want and will treasure, versus spending that same sum of money on like a bunch of little stuff that isn't gonna last or is like tchotchkes. That was more than one thing, but I think you did say pieces, so there's a lot of things still that I would love to find. Tying into that, someone asked, would you consider filming some vintage Halloween hunting this year, like thrifting? Yes, actually, and that's something that's on my list to do this year because while I will be doing some Halloween decor hunting, I think they're going to be more consolidated, like, you know, a few longer episodes where we really do all the big box stuff. And then I would like to sprinkle in some like searching for vintage pieces as well, because that's just a little bit more where I'm at in my collection right now. I will obviously still definitely purchase some things from big box stores this year. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. But my collection is at the point where I have like 10 huge bins of Halloween stuff. I just don't need to be accumulating to the degree that I have been. And so yes, I will definitely be doing thrifting, maybe looking at how to search like Facebook Marketplace, because y'all know I have crazy luck with finding weird, spooky stuff on Facebook Marketplace. So maybe just like how I go about looking for those things. If that's something y'all are interested in, just drop a comment and let me know, because I think that's something that's brought me a lot of joy in the last year, and I want to maybe share that with you if you care. Ooh, okay. First spooky awakening. Was it a movie, a friend? Where did this journey begin? I mean, my parents. Honestly, my mom and dad are just the kind of people who made things super fun when I was a kid. And honestly, they still do. I'm almost 30 and they still like go all out for holidays and stuff. And they're just very celebratory, fun people. But I've told this on the channel and the podcast a couple of times. My mom's birthday is a couple days before Halloween, and so that time of year was always just like kind of a big deal anyway, and we would always celebrate her birthday along with Halloween, and my mom would always make sure I had just like the best costumes. She would either make it or like enhance it. If we bought a store-bought costume, she would make extra pieces so that it was like really unique and special. Hocus Pocus came out the year I was born, so we watched Hocus Pocus every Halloween my entire life. And that was something that changed my brain chemistry. Again, people that like Barbara Streisand for me, Bette Midler is another one of those people for me. I'm a theater girl at heart. So yeah, I think just growing up in a family that really made it special and had so many traditions around Halloween, it just made it a time of year I really looked forward to. And my mom has always been a fall girl, and I vicariously became a fall girl. My birthday's in September also, so just that time of year, like leading into October, I was always really excited and happy. So yeah, I guess that's kind of how it all began. How did you and your husband meet? Also, you're amazing. Thank you. Taylor and I met at an improv audition. His friends dragged him there. He lived in like my theater dorm, but wasn't a performer. He did like sound and lighting tech. And at the time I was the captain of this team. So I watched his audition. But before auditions, he had kind of like zeroed in on me and had walked up to say something to me. It's my favorite story to tell. He like giggled and ran away. He literally went like, and just sprinted off. So that was my first impression of him. And I remember thinking he was very like cute. And honestly, like he wasn't bad at all, but he wasn't the best improver by any means. And I put him on the team because I wanted to spend time with him. But he ended up becoming my best friend. And then several months later, he asked me out and we started dating. We've been together for 10 years and married for 4. And yeah, he's my best bud. I love him. Favorite spooky artwork? Again, this is so hard because I'm friends with so many incredible spooky artists. I'm gonna just show, actually, you know what I'm gonna do? Okay, I'm gonna kind of reframe this question. I'm gonna go with like favorite spooky piece of art I've acquired as of late. Because I have something very exciting to share. So I just got this, and I've shown it on Instagram a couple of times, so you may have already seen it, but we mentioned on a recent episode of Ghouls Night In that my friend Anne does Victorian hair art, and that I was going to go to one of her art shows that was being held in the historic cemetery downtown in KC, and I ended up buying a piece of her art, and like I still get like my breath taken away when I look at it. So this is what I bought. This is made of hair. Can you freaking believe that? So she makes her art out of a mixture of horse and human hair. So all the black hair in it is my friend Anne's hair. She uses her own black hair. And then all the like tan and the red that's dyed from like blonde hair is horse hair. All ethically sourced from farmers and things. But yeah, she's incredible. So this is my new favorite thing that I have ever purchased. And I'm still kind of like in awe that I own it. It's just absolutely beautiful. It's definitely going to be something that will be like a thing that gets passed down. Anne's Instagram handle is Grim Parsons. Go follow her because she's astounding and like what an incredible art that is not done by people anymore. She's just amazing. I do have one other piece I want to show. Okay, hold on. Again, a big part of my focus this year has been collecting one-of-a-kind items made by small artists and things that I can hold on to for a long time that are like really special. And this is a piece that I saw and I immediately knew I had to have it and I love it. This is from Crystal Sloth is the name of her shop, KK. And it's this little Nosferatu doll. How cute is he? So she makes these dolls and like hand paints or hand embroiders the faces on them. And I just think he's like the cutest thing I've ever seen. I bought a couple other pieces from her as well, some like moon themed pieces, and I actually added them to my mantelscape downstairs. But I just think she's so talented and her work is so cute. So that's the other like favorite spooky thing I've acquired art-wise in the last few months. Any fun costumes planned for Halloween 2023? I don't know yet. I don't know. I do always dress up, but I'm not sure. I think I might be doing something a little bit different for Halloween this year as far as like possibly not being in my home on actual Halloween night, which may determine what I decide to do if I'm with other people. This is a two-part question. Biggest pet peeve and do you watch any Real Housewives? Biggest pet peeve is probably like being interrupted when I'm speaking. That really, really bothers me. That's the one that's coming to mind. I do not like being interrupted. And I do not watch any Real Housewives. I've never seen a single episode of it. I am Bachelor Nation trash. One of my childhood best friends and I watch Bachelor every single week. I'm not proud of it, but I need that like Marie Kondo where she's like, I love mess. I love mess. I love watching hot people like cry about how like hard their lives are. It's so fun to me. Or like anything like that, like Love is Blind, so funny to me. But I will tell you, Miranda of Spooky Little Halloween is your ghoulie for Real Housewives. That is her franchise of choice. What are your predictions for this year's Halloween collections at retailers? Honestly, I think my predictions are going to be pretty similar to last year because my predictions for last year didn't happen. And not to like toot my own horn, but I think those were really accurate to what should be happening theoretically because Halloween decor and all home decor and things follow trends of whatever's happening on a large scale, right? And last year I said I thought we were going to get some really cool like vampire gothic lines because vampires are everywhere right now. Twilight's having a huge resurgence. We just got the Renfield movie, which I loved, by the way. Loved Renfield. If you haven't watched it yet, go check it out. So fun. What We Do in the Shadows has been so popular. We got like the new reboot of Interview with a Vampire. And last year was the 30th anniversary for the 90s film Dracula. I just feel like the vampire content has been really present, which should in theory mean that vampires are hot for Halloween. Now I know we got kind of a gothic-y romance line through Michael's last year, but it was not at all what I was expecting. It was pretty much a remake of that Pink line, but in red and black. And then it had like one or two signs that said like, come in for a bite. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking like, I want like the Dark and Deco line from Joanne, but make it vampiric, you know? So I think that's probably still on the horizon. I also, again, still think there's going to be some kind of resurgence of like 80s and 90s Halloween nostalgia, like neon Halloween, because of the popularity of like Stranger Things, and the majority of the buying class right now, people who are spending the most on Halloween, are millennials who grew up in that era. So the target market is like of age right now. So that would again make sense. If we're not doing these things, then at home, Joanne, Target, somebody call me to be your executive research decision maker, because what are you doing? I feel like this ties into that question. What are you hoping to see now that you seem to be more into Victorian vibes? I definitely have been feeling the Victorian era this year. I think in general, I still love my vintage kitsch. I love it. Like I said, I think that's where we're going to head with the living room this year. Just like high, vintagey, kitschy, folk arty fun. But I've also been very drawn to the dark feminine and this kind of gothic-y, Victorian, natural vibe. And so I would love to see more of that done better. I know that's horrible to say. I don't think anyone's doing like a poor job. Michael's got really close like a couple years ago when they started doing more of that dark garden, like woods witchy vibe. And Joanne with the dark and deco. Like I just want more of that dark decor for people who like don't want it to scream Halloween. I don't want the word Halloween on everything. I don't need that. So yeah, just more like usable items, like really ornate, beautiful candelabras, or I don't know, cool Ouija board stuff. I know no store is probably gonna sell a Ouija board because, but yeah, just like, I don't know, something interesting. Give me something interesting. This is fun. This is from Crystal Sloth. This is from KK. What's your favorite Halloween-ish drink? Pumpkin cream cold brew. I live for pumpkin cream cold brew. I wait for it all year long. But I'm also an apple cider girly. I love apple cider. I love it so much. Ooh, what's your best ADHD hack? I mean, to be frank, I'm still learning how to work with my ADHD instead of against it. I think that's the biggest thing, is just giving yourself permission to work with your brain instead of against it as much as you can. I mean, fun fact, if you didn't know, if you're a person who menstruates, your hormones during your cycle highly affect your ADHD. And so I have gotten to a place where I mark the dates where I know that those changes are going to start happening in my brain. And I just plan to not do like heavy work days those days, because I know the brain fog is going to be debilitating, and I'm not going to fight it because I just end up exhausted and crying. It doesn't help to try to work against it. So, just be cognizant of the cycles your brain goes through and try your best to plan for them. And just don't be so hard on yourself, because your brain is not broken or wrong. It's just different, and it's okay to give yourself breaks and things when you need them. When was your first aha moment where you realized you wanted to be an influencer / YouTuber? For me, it happened in 2016. I started watching Rachel Maxey's channel back when she was the pinup companion, and something about her presence online made something click in my brain where I was like, I want to do that. I could do that. And so I started making videos. If you don't know, I used to be called Adventures in Vintage, and I did pinup content and vintage content exclusively. And I'll never forget, my first video I uploaded got 800 views, and I thought that I had made it. But like I said, my degree is in performance, and I was an actor most of my life. And so this feels like a way to channel that thing that I love in a way that works for me. I feel like I get to use my skills of like talking to people and performing through this platform, and that's been really nurturing for my soul. I'm so thankful that I've found a way to continue doing what I love, just in a different way. Are you happy with your choice of being a full-time YouTube creator? Yes, I am. It definitely has its struggles, just like anything else, especially just motivating yourself to work for yourself can be really challenging. And, being a human who struggles with my own things, like I said, I've had problems the last couple of weeks, just being comfortable with like showing up and being seen. And that's like 99% of this job is being perceived by a bunch of people. And some days I don't feel good and I don't feel like it. So that can be hard, but the freedom this has allowed me, the opportunities it has presented me, the community it has brought me, both in my audience and in like the friendships I have made in the last 2 years, have been some of the most incredible friendships I've ever had. Things that I've done that I never ever thought I would have been able to do, things that I've made that I'm so proud of. Getting to travel. I love traveling. It's one of my favorite things in the world, and this has provided me so many incredible opportunities to travel and see new things and meet new people. I wouldn't do it any differently, and I'm so grateful for you all for supporting me, to my partner for saying yes when I said I was going to do this full time, and I'm sure he thought I was crazy. And like to myself, I'm so thankful to myself for giving myself the permission to do something that would make me happy. And the transformation just in the person that I have been in the last couple of years versus who I was before is astronomical, because I'm resonating from a place of so much joy and excitement. It's been really amazing. I love this question. Which cereal mascot, spooky or otherwise, would you want on your side in a fight? I mean, I don't know about a fight, but Frankenberry, just because I want to meet him. I love Frankenberry. He's so cute. I feel like he's big. He could like scare them just by like kind of stomping around, even though I think he's kind of a soft boy. What 5 items, when placed on a pentagram, would have the best luck of summoning you? Okay. A cold brew coffee, liquid eyeliner. I don't know if it's an item. My dog, definitely. A large pair of kitschy earrings, probably like spider or spider web earrings, and a copy of Dance Fever by Florence and the Machine on vinyl. What is your dream Halloween costume? So my absolute dream costume, I love dressing up as Beetlejuice. I do it at least once a year. Even if it's not for Halloween, I do some kind of Beetlejuice adjacent costume or cosplay every year, it feels like. So in my dreams, I would have some kind of like beautiful, like Rococo gown, like a giant, like Allison's parents' Halloween party in Hocus Pocus, like a crazy ball gown, but made of striped, kind of a silky striped fabric, and just having this like glorious striped dress. And then like a Marie Antoinette wig, giant stacked wig in green, or like the blonde with the green streaks running through it, something that resembles Beetlejuice. And then how like they would put crazy things in their hair, like ships and stuff on their head? That, but it's either like a sandworm weaving through the wig, or it's the carousel like head topper that he has, but like sticking out. That would be the dream. I know it's very specific, but I've had that vision for years, and I do not have the sewing skills to make it come true at this moment, but maybe someday if I keep working on my sewing. Would you watch SNL in person? Absolutely. Actually, fun fact about me, my dream job used to be being on SNL. That's what I wanted to do. I didn't want to be an actor or be on Broadway. I wanted to be on SNL. I grew up watching like classic SNL, and I would still love to, be on it or write for SNL. I love sketch comedy, and so absolutely, I would love the opportunity to see it live someday. How old are you, and what is your zodiac sign? I am 29, turning 30 this September. Very excited about my 30th. I am a Virgo sun, and I have a Gemini moon and a Pisces rising. Okay, I think this is a good one to end on, and it's just, what are you looking forward to this Halloween season? I mean, I'm always looking forward to everything about Halloween season. I'm very excited because I feel like this year something I have reconnected with is my ability to make things. I've always been a pretty like resourceful person, and in theater and college and things, we had to make stuff and kind of create things from nothing. And that's something I've always had a talent for, but I kind of lost it somewhere along the way. And I'm reconnecting with that part of myself, and it's been really, really joyful for me to get back into making with my hands. And so a lot of the plans I have for the upcoming Halloween season include making things and recreating items from beloved films or stories, or creating things that I have wanted that I have never seen provided to us by stores and things. So I'm very excited about just what I'm going to create, to see how those things come to pass, and getting to share that with you, getting to share the process with you. I'm very excited, and possibly, hopefully, have a very large project in the works for Halloween season. And I mean, I have several large scale home projects in the works, but this is something that I've wanted to do for several years. That involves a lot of collaboration, but I think it's going to be really, really kick-ass if we get it together in time. So send me all your good vibrations for a really exciting project. I can't wait to hopefully be sharing that with you very, very soon. I'm really hoping this is going to be kind of my most extreme home year of Halloween, that it's going to be really, really something. So I'm excited to share that with you. That being said, if you are not already, be sure to subscribe to the channel before you leave today, because that is how you keep up with me, and make sure you see all the exciting projects headed your way this fall. I will be doing bonus videos throughout the season as well, with some of my more elaborate making projects over on my Patreon. If you would like to join that, we would love to have you. I also do monthly lives with my patrons. I've been really enjoying doing those, so you can check that out at the link in the description box below. Thank you all so much for submitting your questions. This was actually really fun, and I'm sure you can even just tell by my energy that this has definitely got me back out of my funk, and I feel excited to film again. So thank you for assisting me with that. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and until next time, keep it campy, kooky, glamorous, and spooky. Bye!